Jay here for Stretford, Paddock. This is a live Europa League Draw update. We're basically doing a bit of a watch along with the Europa League Draw. Apologies, we're a little bit late. I know the draw is already taking place. It's already happening, and we're already finding out what Manchester United or who Manchester United are going to be playing. Make sure you are getting involved in the chat and the comments as well. Loads of people already, people saying, yeah, I was getting that trim, a Manscaped trim. No, sorry about that. Basically, I think, right, I'm trying to keep up with this, but so far, Manchester United, right, we're going to have Rangers, and we're going to have, is it Spurs as well? I'm trying to work out what is actually going on here, so bear with me because it's all a bit chaotic. But I can see, like, on one pot here it says Spurs, United, Lyon, Olympiacos, so that's one pot, right? So at the minute, we're just trying to work out what exactly is going on with Manchester United. But as far as I can see, so Rangers are going to play Spurs at home and Manchester United away in the Europa League. So we're going to play Rangers. Now, we've got a bit of an issue with Rangers. I've always had a bit of an issue with them because basically they ruined our chances of getting a parade in 2008. So I've always been a bit annoyed with them. So looking there, we can see Spurs, Man United are in pot one. And then Rangers are going to play Spurs and Man United, I believe. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's the latest update there. So I'm just trying to work out exactly what is going on. Let me know. Get involved in the chat and the comments, and hopefully. So yeah, we've not got Spurs. We're just in the same pot. So Rangers are going to play us. And then they're going to play Spurs, but we're not going to play Spurs. Is that right? It's all very confusing, isn't it? But hopefully we can make a bit of a head tail of it. So Rangers draw Spurs at home and Manchester United away in the Champions League, right? So we know that much so far. We obviously can't play Spurs because we just can't, but we're in the same pot, if that all makes sense. So we're going to play Rangers. It's all a bit confusing. Get involved in the comments and let us know what you know. Yeah, so we've got Rangers at home and Porto away. That's what's happening so far. We've got in the Europa League draw so far, as far as I can tell, because it's all very confusing. We've got Rangers and we've got Rangers at home and Porto away. If that's right, yeah, let me know if I'm wrong. I think that's as far as I can tell. That is what is going on so far, and hopefully we can give you some more updates as and when they come. The draw is taking place, and it's just all a bit confusing because it's this format that it confuses me anyway. I'm not going to lie to you, but since they've sort of changed the way they've done it, then yeah, it's made it even more confusing for me. But let me know what you think about that so far. People already in the comments saying, look, that's doable. Porto away and Rangers at home. That all seems doable. Let me know what you think. Any draws you're looking out for? Any draws you want? Any draws you think, oh, that would be a great little trip there? Porto away is a decent one, isn't it? That's not too shabby. So we've got here, I think I can give you the sort of the rundown here. Right. So you got Rangers at home, Porto away. Stop me if I get this wrong. Rangers at home, Porto away, PAOK at home, Fenerbahce away, Bodo Glimt at home, Victoria Pilsen away, 20 at home, FCSB away. Is that right? That is how I see it. By all means, get involved in the chat and the comments, but I think it's Rangers at home, Porto away, PAOK at home, Fenerbahce away, Bodo Glimt at home, Victoria Pilsen away, 20 at home, FCSB away. That's what I can see there. That's how I think this draw has unfolded for Manchester United. Get involved in the chat and the comments. Let me know if I've got that completely wrong. It's always, you know, a possibility. But I think that is it. Yeah. Rangers home, Porto away, POAK at home, Fenerbahce away, Bodo Glimt at home, Victoria Pilsen away, 20 at home, FCSB away. There are your Europa League fixtures for Manchester United. So now the big question is, what have you made of them? Apologies there if I was very confused. I found it all very confusing, so I was just trying to work it all out and then make sure I had it all correctly. And that's as far as I can see the list of fixtures. So let me know what you think about that. Are you going to be making any of those away trips? Do you think Manchester United have got a good chance in the Europa League this season? Do you care about the Europa League? I actually think, right, and I know this isn't going to be a very popular idea or a very popular comment. I'm going to say anyway. I think the Europa League should be worth going for. I think Manchester United should go for the Europa League. I really do. I think that is a trophy that you get Champions League football. It's a big trophy as well to win. It's a decent trophy. I was there in Stockholm when we won it. People dismiss it, but if you win the Europa League, you're buzzing. It's at the end of the season, a big trophy there, a European trophy. Why not? Why not go for it? People may disagree, because I think sometimes you look at Europa League, especially when you've got some of those fixtures I've just mentioned, you might go, oh, should we just play the kids against Fenerbahce or against PAOK or whatever? It's easy to dismiss it and think, oh, this is a sort of second-rate competition because it's not the Champions League. But it is a big competition. It is. It's a competition that can get you into that Champions League. It's a competition that you get some big teams in. Was it 2 seasons ago? We played Barcelona in Europa League. So you can get some big games in it. And it matters, man. When you win at the end of the season, you're buzzing. I know some people dismiss it. Some people on this channel aren't too fond of it. I get it. But I am. And I've got massive, big, happy memories from Stockholm. I know it was an emotional time. It wasn't all happy because of what had happened that week in Manchester. But in terms of the emotion and the achievement and everything that had gone and sort of giving us something to cheer about after what had been a horrible, horrible few days for Manchester. Yeah, I think winning the Europa League would be a bonus. Let me know. What do you think? Do people care? What do you think of the draw? Do you care about the Europa League? Do you think Manchester United can win it? Those are your 3 questions I want answering, yeah? What do you care about? What do you care? Do you care about the Europa League? What do you make of the draw? Can United win it? That's the 3 questions you've got to answer. Acorn Electron says Europe this season, then 21 will follow next season. Adam Jones says Jose in Turkey will be horrible. Mark Farley, we've just tweeted this, says Ugarte not done in time for Sunday, what a joke. Let Scott go. Lost Mount again to injury doesn't help. This Sunday we are a bit threadbare, aren't we, in midfield? It is looking a bit grim there. Yeah, I do worry somewhat when I look at the midfield situation for Manchester United. Yeah, it's not ideal, is it, really, to be honest with you? But this is where we're at, because I think Damesh Seth just tweeted, we've just quoted it, or we've just tweeted it as well, that Manchester United, Ugarte is going to happen, the deal's expected to get done, but he's not going to be done in time for the Liverpool game. And as someone's just pointed out there, Acon Electrons just pointed out, we've got no Mason Mount, he's injured again. Not great for him, is it? I feel for the kid. We've lost Scott McTominay, we've sold him. Obviously, we didn't renew, or we didn't go back for Sofian Amrabat. We've got a weaker midfield than we had last season. We've got basically Casemiro, Kobe Mainoo, Bruno Fernandes, Christian Eriksen, and probably Toby Collier is your options there, unless I'm missing anyone. Let me know what you think. Are you worried about this weekend? Let me know what you think about this Europa League draw. I'll tell you what, let's talk about the Europa League draw first. Then we're going to get into this weekend, some of the transfer news as well, because we've had a few updates when it comes to the transfer stories too. So we've got a few stories. If we can just make that a little bit bigger as well, the document there, so I'll be able to read that. Fantastic. Yeah, people mentioning about the Europa. Jed91 says, this is UEFA Super League Division 2. Europa winners 2025, says A. Yeah, I'd take that. Listen, let's face facts, right? We won the Europa League. Everyone would be absolutely buzzing. Think of how gutted you were when we lost it to Villarreal. Think of how buzzing you were when we won it in Stockholm against Ajax. It's a big trophy, man. I'll have it all day long. And also, let's face facts, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare getting in that top 4 this season. We should still do it. We should still aspire to do it. But it is going to be a bit of a nightmare, because you've got basically Arsenal, City looking pretty good, aren't they, for top 4? The Scousers are going to be in that mix. Spurs are going to be in that mix. Chelsea, you never know what's going to happen with them because it's just chaos. Villa as well. Everyone's going, oh, well, Villa got top 4. They won't get top 4 again. Why not? Emery's a very good manager. They've made some decent signings. They could be in that top 4 conversation again. United could improve on last season and still not make top 4. Winning the Europa wouldn't be a bad way to end the season. Let me know. Devilish13 says, we are more likely to get Champions League through the Europa League than the league. I agree. Mohammed is one. Ali says, hello, Jay. Big fan of the channel, watching from Singapore. Thank you. Sancho has been given a green light to Chelsea via Fabrizio. Should we talk about that? If you can move that document away, you can see what else is going on. Thank you. So we had this in the Athletic before. I'm going to talk through what happened, or what's been happening with Jadon Sancho. The Athletic did an article, I think it was earlier today, and they said United basically were looking to get rid of Jadon Sancho on a permanent deal and would be willing to go as low as 25 million if that's what it took to get rid of Jadon Sancho. Now, we spoke about this on the watch along the other day when it was obvious he wasn't going to be available for the Brighton game. We were saying, like, look, do United just have to bite the bullet and say, look, we ain't going to get 40 million for Jadon Sancho? Do you just take a hit? Do you just take a hit and say, look, let's just get rid of him for like 25 million or something like that, because he's a bit... I'm careful. I've got to choose my words carefully here. He's obviously an issue for Erik ten Hag and the squad. He is. He's not vibing with Erik ten Hag, and I think it can upset the squad when you've got a player there that doesn't get on with a manager, especially when you've got younger players who's trying to set an example to the likes of Garnacho, the likes of Mainoo, the likes of Collier, the likes of Harry Hamas. They're all there. I know Hamas hasn't been in the squad, but he's been in the squad for the pre-season. Younger players looking at what's going on with the senior players, and you've got someone like Jadon Sancho who's not getting on with a manager, who's still in training and everything, on massive amounts of money, isn't getting in the team. It's not a good look. Now, we've had a tweet about this from Fabrizio Romano. I've just sent that to you, producer Ben, if you can have a look at that. Fabrizio Romano's just tweeted. I think you can see it there, actually. Jadon Sancho gives total green light to Chelsea move. He's keen on joining Chelsea project. Talks are taking place between Chelsea and Man United. Deal currently on. Juventus in complete standby since yesterday. So, yeah, it looks like it's happening. Sky kind of went with this earlier. Sky Sports did something similar. They did a bit of breaking news where they were basically saying what Romano's just saying. They were just saying, look, it looks like it's going to happen with terms of Jadon Sancho to Chelsea. That looks like it's moving forward. They said Chelsea are edging closer to an agreement with Manchester United over the signing of Jadon Sancho. So it looks like you could see something happen on that front. Let me know what you think about the Jadon Sancho situation, because you remember when this channel started as Stretford Paddock, when we took over, we bought the channel and became Stretford Paddock after Full-Time Devils. Jadon Sancho, or Jason Sanchez as you used to call him, was a massive story almost every day. United were chasing after him. He was the most sought after prospect, or one of the most sought after prospects in Europe. United wanted him. He looked like he'd fit in at United. We went on and on and on all summer. We didn't get him. The following summer we did. Everyone was buzzing. We also brought in Rafael Varane. Then we brought in Cristiano Ronaldo. It was like, wow, what a summer. It's never really worked out for Jadon Sancho. I saw Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on the Overlap a few weeks ago, and he said when they brought in Jadon Sancho, they found out that he preferred playing on the left rather than the right, where they wanted him to play. Plus, I think he had some sort of issue. I think he had an ear infection or something. I can't remember what it was. He had some sort of illness where he wasn't 100%. Ole gets sacked. Carrick takes over briefly. Then you get Ralf Rangnick in. It is a bit of a horror show under Ralf Rangnick for everyone. Jadon Sancho has a few moments. You remember, I think it was the game against Chelsea under Carrick, the game against City where he scored that goal at the Etihad. So he has these moments where he does really well. Not a really great season for him though, but not a good season for almost everyone. To be honest with you, I think maybe De Gea and Ronnie had a decent season. Everyone else was massively underwhelming. The following season, Erik ten Hag comes in. Jadon Sancho doesn't really get going, if we're being honest. He has a few moments, again, a few little, the Liverpool game, one or two others, where he scores, and then he's sent away for a few weeks, or a few months, I should say, to sort of get himself right, to get himself in a position where he's able to play for Manchester United. There's still a bit of sort of vagueness as to what exactly was the issue there, whether it was mental health issues or whether it's physical. I'm not quite sure, but something wasn't 100%. So Erik ten Hag says, look, you go away, you get yourself right, you come back, and then you can play for Manchester United again. He goes away, he comes back and he does okay. I think, if I'm being honest, I don't think he sets the world alight. He's just all right. The following season, last season, he has this fallout with the manager. The manager's asked after the Arsenal game why wasn't Jadon Sancho in your squad. He says basically, I'm paraphrasing, but more or less he didn't try hard enough in training. His standards weren't there. Sancho does a tweet, kicking off about it, saying he's been made a scapegoat. Him and the manager fall out. He refuses to apologise. He's made to train with the kids, and he has to eat his dinner on his own and all this nonsense. Then he's sent out to Dortmund, back to Dortmund. Well, they come in for him. They're like, well, we'll have him back on loan. He gets to a Champions League final. He has a very good game in the first leg semi-final against PSG. Overall, he does okay at Dortmund. I don't think he was that great the second spell. He does all right. To the point where no one really came in for him for big money this summer. Dortmund didn't want him back. They weren't willing to pay what Manchester United wanted. Juve were rumoured to be interested in him, but they've not really come in with anything concrete. And now it seems as though Chelsea, almost bizarrely considering how many players they've got and bought, are in for him. Let me know what you think. Jesus Christ says, forget trophies, or forget these trophies. What I am most chuffed about is how good our transfer business has been. Transfers, trophies. I love transfers. I love transfers more than trophies. My favourite time as a United fan is the transfer window. It's better than 99. Jesus Christ also says, also, so happy about the way Scott was received at Napoli. He was mid, but he was our mid. Gonna miss him. There's a compliment in there somewhere. He was mid, but he was our mid. Listen, have you seen the Napoli footage? I think we've got a bit of a picture of it here. He was swarmed in Naples. Scott McTominay The fans absolutely loving it. You can see it there on your screen. Like, he was absolutely mobbed. And it's good to see, man. Scott McTominay, listen, I don't think he was quite good enough to start for Manchester United. He played his part. He played some big games, scored some big goals as well. We'll always have that one against City. Also, the performance against Liverpool last season in the FA Cup. The performance against Manchester City in the final of the FA Cup where he man-marked Rodri. I think history will be kind to Scott McTominay, and he'll be looked back on as a very good player for Manchester United who did his best, or a good player I should say. He did his best. Not quite good enough to start week in, week out for Manchester United. And let's not forget, he's kind of getting towards his peak now, and we're letting him go for a relatively low fee. There's a reason for that. There's a reason he's not a 50 million, 60 million pound player. And I know he's not got long left on his deal, but there's a reason why he's not in the squad or the team for Manchester United, the team I should say, for Manchester United, and why United are willing to let him go to bring in other players, because he's not quite at that level. But it's great to see him being well received. He's done well for his country. Hopefully as well, he'll do well in Serie A, keep doing well for Scotland, and I wish him well. I think if we were to play Napoli in any sort of future games, he'll get a very good reception by the Manchester United fans, certainly by me. Mark says, really excited for Ugarte. Hope he has a long-running hole in the team. I think this is a reference to something that Joe Smith said on Uncensored about Tina Hobbler. We won't get into it. If you know, and if you don't, I'm not repeating it. And Andrew A says, why would anyone actually go to Chelsea though, Jay? Talking about Jadon Sancho. Has to be long contracts without needing to play too much football. Chelsea's still a big club. Maybe they've promised him something. Hamza, I get it, but stop saying that as you're going to get put in a timeout. I'm going to talk about Beckham in a minute. Beckham did a thing where he wants us to chant. I don't know if you saw that. He was on a video recently where he says, I'd love to hear the United fans chanting my name. I did a tweet about it. I would love United fans to chant his name. I like David Beckham. I think he's actually underrated a little bit. I think people forget how good David Beckham was. I know that sounds a bit crazy because everyone sort of knows David Beckham is his superstar, one of the sort of the most iconic footballers in a generation. But I think people dismiss him as a sort of spice boy. Oh, he's married to a pop star who's more bothered about wearing sarongs and having Brill Cream adverts than he was about playing football. It's nonsense. He was mint for Manchester United. He gave his all every week, and he was such a consistent player as well. And he was one of them. He'd always battle, he's always try, and he had that quality. You know, obviously from dead balls and crosses and stuff like that, he could hit a shot as well. Scored some great goals. Steve Howson always points out he was a bit unlucky in some of the goals he scored were in games where the second goal is the one you always remember. So he scored the first goal in that replay against Arsenal, where everyone just remembers Giggsy's goal. He scored the first goal against Spurs in the title decider at Old Trafford for the final Premier League game of the 99 season to get the equaliser. He scored the equaliser, yet everyone talks about Andy Cole getting the winner. It's just like David Beckham gets ignored. And let's not forget as well, in the 99 final, Beckham is one of the few players who has a good game. If you watch that game back, United players don't play well. We don't. It's a pretty bad performance for about 70 minutes from United. We changed the system slightly and it just wasn't working. But Beckham has a good game, as well as, I'm going to point this out as well, while we're on the David Beckham bus, because I love David Beckham, in Turin, in the Stade d'Alpe, where Roy Keane gave one of the most legendary performances ever in a Manchester United shirt, Beckham is a contender for man of the match in that game. He is, because his performance in that game is also phenomenal. I'd give it Keane because I think it's not just about his performance, it's about what he does in terms of motivating his teammates as well. But both of them are outstanding. It's just everyone focuses on Roy Keane, and rightly so, because he gets butts, knows he's not going to be in the final and smashes it anyway. But you watch that game and watch David Beckham's performance, it's unbelievable. It is one of the great Manchester United European performances. But again, he's kind of in someone else's shadow because everyone talks about Roy Keane. So he's a little bit unlucky sometimes, David Beckham, in the sense that people look at the Giggs goal, they look at the Cole goal, they look at the Roy Keane performance, they look at Ollie and Teddy Sheringham's goals in the final. You might well look at what Beckham was doing in those games because he was absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, I think I'd be happy for him to get his name chanted, and I think, yeah, he left and went to Real Madrid. But if you watch the documentary as well, I don't think Fergie covered himself in glory. Yeah, in terms of updates, I'll go through a couple of updates before we wrap up. In the Europa League, we've got Rangers at home, Porto away, PAOK at home, Fenerbahce away, Bodo Glimt at home, Victoria Pilsen away, 20 at home, FCSB away. In the transfer sort of department, of what's going on with transfers, Manuel Ugarte, he ain't going to be ready for the Liverpool game. I know that is a little bit disappointing, but according to Dama Sef, he's just tweeted, we're not going to see Ugarte in his paperwork's not going to be done in time for the Liverpool game. Scott McTominay obviously already in Naples. Mason Mount is injured. We're going to be a bit short of midfielders. In terms of Chelsea, it's Jadon Sancho. It looks like that's going to happen. Fabrizio Romano's tweeted about it. Others have tweeted about it too. Sky Sports saying it's edging closer to an agreement. I expect that deal to get done. Obviously today's deadline day, so it's going to get done. Jesus Christ says, Sancho keen on Chelsea because there's every bloke in West London in their gym, so he can just not turn up and get away with it. Yeah, basically he's saying there that maybe Sancho's looking at Chelsea as a bit of an easy way to fax it in. I'm not sure about that. We'll have to wait and see. I just think Manchester United need to move Jadon Sancho on. He's not even an option, is he? He's not. He's not even getting on the bench. Move him on, get some dough back for him, and hopefully move on. Just let me know what you think about Ineos in this transfer window, because I think they've done really well this transfer window. And I think if we move Jadon Sancho on, I think it's a pretty positive transfer window. I've said if we got Ugarte in, it'd be at 8. If we get some decent money for Jadon Sancho, just some money for Jadon Sancho, I think you might even be on a closer to a 9, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see. Going to be back later on with The Brew. Myself, Stephen Howson, and the Housewives' favourite, Alex Bagley's joined us for that one. Plus me and Joe, we're going to be back later on this evening. We're going to be taking you through the deadline right up till when the deadline passes as well. So make sure, if you're not doing already, you are hitting like, share, and subscribe. I've been Jay. This has been a bit of an update. Live sort of watch along with the Europa League draw, breaking news, all that jazz, bit of everything. Thanks for watching.